I am here editing videos, and Blondie is here dreaming of corn. So we had no crooks, thieves, or murderous bikers bother us last night, though we were a little cautious when we were in traffic down there. We did find some ticks crawling around in the tent last night when we got in. Fortunately, they were the bigger ones, so I could feel the one on my leg. They hadn't dug in. And today, Jen is being all smug because she is happy we are getting on the River to River Trail, and I am just anticipating more spiders to the face, stinging nettles all over my legs, and slower progress, mixed with heat. I'm just hope there's corn. So this is why I found us last night. I basically barreled up this road and found just enough of a clearing, just enough of a slope where it would work. So that is the road right over there. Mosquitoes got kind of bad there as we were packing up. That was where we ran into that farmer guy last night who was telling us about the crooks, thieves, and murderers. The big struggle, though, is you can see how kind of dense the trees are. There's a certain level of vegetation that you just can't get into. You know, there's too many vines and other things. And even if you smash your way through, there's not enough open ground. But hey, speaking of easy camping, today is River to River Trail. Jen has been struggling a little more with the stress of stealth camping and everything. I'm a little more used to it after a few months out here. So she's looking forward to more trail and less, you know, cornfields and traffic, and having plenty of camping options. This section has gone really nice and easy. You know, the last part of Illinois or the last part of Indiana and then here in Illinois. It's been good miles, easy walking. Our initial resupply plan through here had involved a 90-some mile food carry from Shawneetown, which would be, you know, basically 3 days and change, 4 days if things were going well. If we get into another rough section where 17, 18 is all we can do, then you're talking 5+. I was wary of dumping too much weight food-wise on our backs, since we don't know how much water we're having to carry. I don't quite trust any of the stream sources if there is a whole bunch of like fertilizers and pesticides being used in the area. And with the pavement, I don't want to rip up Jen's feet any more than was necessary. We did have a trail angel who contacted us, so it actually seems like it's going to work out where we're going to go about 2.5 days-ish. And then we'll meet them, we'll be able to resupply, and then we'll do the other half, which should keep things a little more reasonable. And I mean, once again, my gut was, I'd just rather carry it and not bother anybody, but I want to be considerate of Jen, not make it any rougher on her. She has been a trooper since jumping in out here. She's having some minor blisters and things like that, but she's managed a pretty good pace straight out of the gate. And the trail angels along this trail have been such an integral part of the experience. I am trying to be a little more engaged there. We're also about 130 miles from my next set of shoes. Unfortunately, we either did the math wrong or they have been wearing faster. The weather is supposed to be in the low 90s again. I think yesterday it was 89, 90 degrees, felt like 93. For the weather app, and it was damn hot. I mean, if we hadn't had that town, we would have siesta'd. If there is more tree cover, that gives us a little more flexibility. We just could not get out of the sun for large stretches yesterday. A few times we were hiding on people's front yards, figuring it would be okay. We had a church, we were under construction equipment. Usually somewhere in the low to mid 90s is where I have to start just taking a break in the shade, you know, aka siesta break. As far as the River to River Trail, it is the majority of the state here. I think we're on it for 90-some, 100-some miles, something like that. The trail is longer, but the ADT, you know, joins it and leaves it at certain points. Similar to others, they don't prioritize doing the entirety of the trail. There are campsites marked all over. There are some caves and other things. Just checked the weather forecast and it's supposed to be 93 today and then 98 tomorrow. There are no ideal conditions out here. It's either cold, hot, windy, too much bugs, too much vegetation. Pretty much always something. Can't sweat the small stuff if you want to actually get anything done out here.
We've still just been seeing a few of these guys scattered around.
Well, that's a relief. We hadn't seen corn in several hours. Okay, so Jen's expectations are sky high here. Not to mention, they call it Garden of the Gods. Well, that was weird. People sitting outside of that trashed hotel back there. I called out, popped my headphone out, and he said, yeah, you're lucky I was outside because that dog will bite your ass. Nice folks. Just want to make sure it doesn't come out after Jen. Yeah, and it did. Pit bull or something. Came out of the yard and just barely got turned around by the guy screaming. Okay, and since it is a particularly hot time, our plan is to duck in here and get some water. Start the day off well hydrated at least. Oh man. And Jen was able to successfully beg water from people who didn't even seem to want to walk to the bathroom, much less cogitate walking here from Delaware. And now we are on. The thing about walking across America is it has made me hate motorcyclers irrationally. More so than living in a campground, which also made me hate motorcycles irrationally. So we are about to jump on the River to River Trail, which should be the next 4 or 5 days, I think. Most of what I found on it seems to be equestrian based. You can hike it. I do know at least one person that has through hiked it recently, but they allow horses, and there are a lot of notes about the usual mud pits and dust and things that come from equestrians. For at least one section, not only does it allow horses, but it is set up for horses hauling wagons. Well, here you go, Blondie. Blazes.
And after about a week on the road, we are finally getting on a legitimate hiking trail.
I miss corn.
I am loving the forest.
Blondie, this is great news because I've been eating spider webs for the last 15 minutes. We got horses all over back here.
As we've been passing through these older cemeteries, it's always interesting for me to look at the dates and kind of think about what those people saw and didn't see. This one caught our eye because it looks really old. The markings have long been rounded off the headstones if they were there to begin with, and then we realized it's actually an old slave cemetery. Matt found me this cicada exoskeleton. You can see where the bug popped out there.
And here we have Jen with so much love and a doggie who is afraid of her love.
So much love.
If there was a giant thing opening its arms, like giggling at me, I would probably be terrified too. More importantly, they have cold drinks. Jen finally found an animal that is okay with her petting it.
Hey, the first dog was too.
The one dog barked and the other just kind of like wandered off.
Oh, you are so soft.
I don't know, that doggie still doesn't seem to know what to do with you. Jen is making friends. I am making drinky poos. We just stopped in the general store, which had Jojo, who I got to talk to. I got cold drinks, and Jen got to play with a little doggie, a big doggie, and a kitty. In between rolling her eyes at how much I was enjoying chatting with Jojo.
Yeah,
so it's a nice. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It was a good conversation, and oh my gosh, that cat was so adorable.
And the animals, a little doggy, they was like kissing the big doggy. She was squeeing. So interesting chatting with her. She has a lot of expertise in the area because people come and do the horse trails around here. We thought there was water at Garden of the Gods, and apparently they capped that well, so we're expecting about a 10-mile water carry, which is not that big a deal unless it's like 90 plus degrees, and it's like 90 plus degrees, so it's fine.
And our first iconic rock formation of the River to River Trail is called Buzzard's Roost.
I mean, if you have the cheap batteries, somebody stays there, they get a little too low.
Second iconic rock formation of the River to River Trail. Matt, what's this one called?
I think it's Garden of the Gods Arch. So they took inspiration from the comics and just did quirky things. And then did dance battles. It does feel like there's a slight shift in the vegetation. Seems more kind of like arid and sandy. But notice how less dense the trees are.
Yeah, okay.
And behold, an Appalachian style overlook. A hole in the trees looking over hills with more trees.
And remember how excited I've been about not having to stress about campsites. We've passed like 10 of these today already. Normally I would be annoyed that there's these big obvious campsites right next to the trail with giant fire pits. But at the moment, I'm just relieved that there are easy campsites.
You've had totally easy campsites since you joined. I found you such good campsites.
You did.
Complain too much.
I am glad to be with a master of stealth camping.
I have a master's degree in road walking. We're here, it's a whole thing, people are dying, this is going to tie in, and then it doesn't. It gives you a side character that means nothing. And don't even get me started on the 17 characters named Amanda or something.
Aww.
And we thought they were all gone. You're going to pop out of the leaves and go hello?
Oh, so cute. I don't want to scare you. Yeah, go ahead and just hide in those leaves.
I'm pretty sure you shrieking and going so cute was enough to...
I didn't shriek very loudly.
And this is how Jen lost her finger when the turtle... Oh, let's find one of those alligator snapping turtles and you can hold your finger into it. So we're trying a new technique. Instead of me like walking along just waving my poles to grab spider webs or just catching them with my face like I just did, I'm sending Jen, who unfortunately is a little too short. We need to get her a bigger hat. Just because you saw a turtle does not make things magical. I found you a turtle in the cornfields. You were not calling that magical, despite all my corn-based jokes, dances, poetry, pontifications, and AI-generated images.
You did a very commendable job of keeping my spirits up through the nearly endless pavement, through the corn, in the hot sun.
My God. Okay, so we are back down to the road. There is some sort of a church with water.
This is the town of Harrod, and there's a church here that's going to be our water fill-up for the night.
Okay, per the guide, picnic area with a refrigerator that says "Welcome Travelers" behind the church. Man, it is buggy. So that is interesting. There have apparently been some people here today even. I guess they don't limit it to thru hikers. So they don't have the sign, but they have cold water and a bunch of snacks. We really appreciated the apples and a couple of the other things. And the chips. So super nice snacks. The only thing that we feel kind of bad about is the spigot at the church was off. So we had to fill out of all these little bottles. So Jen, I'm pretty sure, just killed a turtle. So this is just a little interlude. We go up here, jump on a road, and in 2 miles we are back to trail, and we are probably camping at that point. Jen is not quite so tired that she's just whimpering. Mostly because she's been reading YouTube comments about herself and getting really happy.
Thanks for being nice, everyone.
Except that one guy. And we can tell we need to be finding tents, a tent site soon, because the fireflies have come out once again. And it is getting increasingly dark. We are pretty much going to stop as soon as we feel like we have a secure spot. I do generally love hiking at the end of the day, but it has been still really bloody hot out here. And once it gets much darker than this, it becomes really hard to find campsites. So on the AT, I met lots of people that would call anything not in a shelter stealth camping, which was BS. And I'd always disagree with it. And now you have dispersed camping, which I would generally define as just being out in an open area. This is not really what I think of when I think of dispersed, but okay.
And after a super happy and beautiful day, we are set up in our cozy camp, making rice and beans, and excited to see more forest and how the forest will change tomorrow. Home sweet home for the night. One of the things I'm looking forward to on this trail is seeing how the forest and the ecosystems change over the course of the trail.
Back to corn!